Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of I've Got a Bike.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
I've Got a Bike, a Pink Floyd discussion, and thank you for joining tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about A Saucer Full of Secrets. Nick Mason's A Saucer Full of Secrets. The record was released last Friday to this set, and we're going to talk a little bit about it, talk about the different versions that were released, whether it was vinyl or whether it was on digital, and we're gonna start with that. But let's say hello to Mike Gwynn. Good evening, Mike Gwynn. Hey, thanks for joining us. Mike, yeah, and yeah. So I got everything working on my end. Yay! Okay, this is Dan, and this is Russell. How's everybody? Rocking and rolling.
Going well.
Doing good.
Hey, I'm going to touch base a little bit about this. So Record Store Day Drops 2020 September is happening this coming Saturday all over the world. And The Wall, live in Berlin, Roger Waters is being reissued on vinyl. And so this is going to be really neat. So I encourage everyone who would like to get a copy of this, reach out to your independent record store and see if you can get a copy yourself. I know that I've gotten several people that reached out to me and said, hey, and I was like, okay. And so there we go.
So no hype sticker on there. No Record Store Day sticker.
No hype sticker. Nothing. Hello, Anthony Bluegrass Picker. Thanks for joining us tonight. No, not at all. Nothing. I don't remember how many were made and how many were pressed, but it was kind of cool that's what happened. But yeah. Any other titles you guys are looking forward to for Record Store Day drops 2020 September?
My list is over there.
Yeah.
I saw where the Meat Puppets are putting out an EP.
Yeah, it's a 10-inch.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to get it or not, but I thought that was cool that they were doing so, because it's stuff that's just been recorded for that release. So I thought that was really nice Record Store Day spirit thing to do.
I went live today and showed a copy of every title that I had in stock. And then when I get back to Record Crate today in Raleigh, there was 2 boxes waiting for me. Then I'm expecting some more tomorrow. So I'll probably another video. So if you go back and watch that, Russell, you can see it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Bookmarked it. I'll watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's really cool because there's so many records that so many different people have an interest in. So that's cool. I don't think no two people are interested in the same group of records. But there's some people that's interested in the same record. So that's what makes it fun. So last time we were here, well, not the last time, but the time before last, we talked about the Record Store Day Drop 2020 August, which was Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets, and it was recorded live at the Roundhouse. And there were 2 songs on here, See Emily Playing Vegetable Man. And on the back, it was etched, and so it was really neat. And it was a teaser for this record right here. And I was really pleased to see that the cover was very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really neat. Left is right, right is left. I left my slip case in Wake Forest. Dan, do you have yours? There is a cutout on there.
So yeah. So there's the case without
nice
record set in there.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Reach my hand in. Hey,
nice and swirly.
And then I just drop it on the floor.
Wow. Take 2. We'll film it again.
Yeah.
That's nice how they're making everything die cut.
Yeah,
they're doing all the die cut sleeves and stuff again. It's like it's the 70s again with vinyl. It's great.
And then nothing on the top or bottom.
Well, if you look at the packaging, I have a greater responsibility now of making sure that that sleeve, that case, doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah.
And darn it, and I'm sure. So I'm going to do what I can to protect it, but I'm sure some people is going to get separated. And in 10 years from now, when people bring records in for buyback and they bring this, it's going to be this without the slip case. That's what's going to happen. And so in 20 years from now, someone will say, "Oh, you got one with a slip case?"
Yeah. It'll be
$80 more if you got the slip case. Yeah. But overall, I thought the packaging looked really well. I like seeing some of the psychedelic and the swirls. And Russell, I don't think you've seen the vinyl yet, but the center.
So the vinyl's a different track list than what would be the CD and iTunes.
No, but
okay.
you haven't seen the vinyl, but the label has that beautiful swirl, and when it spins, it's
so
great.
there's one side, but that's not the side he's talking about. Get that out of there.
There you go.
Yeah, that's nice. It's definitely worth buying it on vinyl. They definitely packaged it really nice. And I noticed when Kirk was holding it up, it looks like a really thick cover. Like you don't have to worry about the cover being flimsy or anything.
That's the old handlebar mustache, Nick Mason. On I'm assuming this is side A.
Frowning Nick.
Frowning handlebar mustache Nick.
Yeah.
One of the vinyl's really awesome, except for one thing: the sides are not labeled. You don't know which is A, B, C, or D.
Oh,
so it's
the dead wax,
and it's not even as simple as this one. Also, just has old school Nick Mason on it, and the same back, same Nick Mason.
Yeah.
So
maybe,
you got to look at the
maybe they're thinking a lot of the fans are going to be in an altered state, and they just want the fans to surprise themselves every time they put it on.
Well, that's true.
Like, oh.
Also, I see people using a Sharpie and identifying it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use a Sharpie.
Did you see Did you see in the dead wax, Dan? It was either A, B, C, or D.
I still can't find it in there. Like this says, like Miles Perry, Roundhouse, something Abbey Roundhouse, and a bunch of numbers. That might be a C or that might be a J. Let's see what it says over here.
Probably a C.
Yeah. Oh yeah, here it's C and D.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, like, you typically don't want to be like fiddling with the dead wax when you just want to put an album on. So. Well,
I haven't got it memorized, but either A, C, either A and C has a swirl, or A and C has the image.
Let's see here.
So that's a good way to remember it.
Well, this one says B2. So yeah, it looks like A. Yeah, A and C is the swirl.
Yeah. So yeah. Very good. It's so much easier now. Yeah. So there's a lot of information on the back, and but there's the track listing is actually on the slipcase, I'm going to call it. Yeah. When you open it up, it's a gatefold. The center looks like this. It's pretty symmetrical in many regards.
Yeah.
But we'll get into the digital a little later, and Dan's going to tell us just a little bit about the DVD. The sleeves, the inner sleeves. I thought the inner sleeves were pretty cool. This one is
oh, cool. I like how they did that.
Lee Harris.
Nice.
And this is Dom Beacon. Yeah, he plays the keyboards. And Dan, you're going to show the...
Yeah, so there's Guy Pratt.
That's cool.
And Gary Coe.
Yeah.
Okay, it's good to know who they all are.
And
Yeah.
I thought it was
Of course, Nick.
interesting, very very nice of Nick not to be like, no, I got to be on the inner sleeve.
Absolutely. One thing about the inner sleeves, folks, when you buy the record, the record inside is very, very, very tight. So be super careful when you remove it, and make sure you have some professional inner sleeves to put it in.
Yeah,
because you're gonna need them.
I immediately move all mine into the MoFi sleeves,
Mhm.
which Kirk sells, and your local record store should pick them up because they're static free and they give you a this way up, and I love that because I don't pick one up and drop the record out the bottom.
Absolutely. And so so I was a little concerned when I was taking them out. I was like, oh, very tight, very tight. Dan, can you show the back of the slipcase?
Yep.
Mine's in mid through. And just like me, Dan left his shrink on. And when you remove the jacket, it comes out of the left side, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah. So from here, it's coming out this side here.
And I kept my shrink on there also. Yeah. Because
when your face is the left side.
Yeah, when I got back to Raleigh today, I was like, I kept the shrink on there, but I was just working with the inner part. So there you go. Yeah.
Well, I like leaving the shrink on for two reasons. One, it preserves that hype sticker on there, so you don't have to like cut it out and put it somewhere and just throw it away, which I like having that hype sticker. But two, it also preserves the sleeves as well. It adds that layer of protection.
Now, if it had been this only, it's a gatefold.
Mm-hmm.
Would you have left the shrink on there?
I actually would have. Yeah. Typically, I then pull out the inner sleeves, re-sleeve in MoFi, and then put the inner sleeves back in and look at somebody else's picture of the gatefold. Now, that is not every record, but oftentimes I'll do that.
Now, Russell, it's not so much that the paper is thick as much as that this is very box-like. So it's very, there's lots of room in that respect. So when I put this in a bag or an outer sleeve and then put the records behind it, I'm afraid that I'm going to crush this right here in the future.
Oh.
Darn you, Nick. Making me
it looks like it's made to be just displayed on its own, not put in with your Pink Floyd albums or anything like that. Just have like your own little space to display it.
Of course, just buy 2 copies, and then you can have your unopened copy, and then your play copy that you don't mind if it gets dinged up.
There you go. Let's
do all those with just gobs of disposable income.
Yeah. So Dan, you got the CD.
I did. Yeah.
Can we see the compact disc?
Yeah. There it is. There. And it's 2 CDs and a DVD. And so, and this one does have information on the side and top. And it's packaged in, again, a die cut.
Nice.
You get, we'll start off with the CDs. So disc 1 has this different picture on the front, which is really, man, I'm dropping everything tonight. So you get the track listing on the back, and then disc 2, which I'll hold a little better. Again, a different picture, which is nice. This one actually doesn't. That's got the old Nick Mason in kind of. He's in there twice with that handlebar mustache. This one has the same picture on it, but only once. So disc 2 then has its track listing on the back. And then you get the DVD, which has a third image on it. And again, that has the track listing on the back, which again is all the same songs on CD 1 and 2. What you get with this is you get a 5.1 surround version as well as the the stereo mix. And then you get a nice booklet as well that has the same image on it as the DVD. And then it's got on the back, it's got the same image that's on the back of the record. And then I'll just kind of flip through it. But there's a kind of, pictures, lots of pictures in it, at the end of the tour, everybody say goodbye and stuff like that. That's really nice. And I think on the, let's see, it's not going to tell me on the DVD. On the Blu-ray, though, which I also got.
There you go.
Same thing, track listing on the back, but the track listing, you'll notice the track listing is a little different on the CD and DVD. The CD and DVD match, but the track listing is a little different because in the videos they intersperse some interviews. So when I first played this, I played it on my system back here. I just put it in and start playing. There's no TV associated with it, and so it plays the first couple songs, and all of a sudden it's just one of the Guy Pratt or somebody just talking about this, that, or the other, which I'm very interested in, but it just kind of breaks up the music. Like, oh man, come on. And then, so I took it, went into the living room, put it on the TV, and noticed that you can drop down one in the menu and play with no interviews, just the concert. So that's what I do in here now. Is this week while I've been listening to it, I just put it on, just play it that way.
Yeah.
And,
let's say hello to Victoria, Ventures and Reselling. Hello, Victoria. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Victoria.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony and Michael.
So it was nice that they added that. Hey, just play it without all the interviews in there. Plus, then you can play the interviews separately, and then there's some additional interviews, and there's also the practice sessions, band rehearsals. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was to say, but you don't get an entire song anywhere in there. That you get to hear clips of bits and pieces as they're practicing it. But that was still pretty cool.
I was a little disappointed that the booklet that had additional material in it wasn't in the vinyl.
That was surprising. I thought for sure, because I opened this first and started playing that, and then I thought for sure I was gonna get a nice, real big version of that booklet. Mm-hmm. And because in the little one, it's kind of it folds out, and then everything's you got that McDonald's M, the golden arches on your book, and you can't really see the wonderful pictures as well. Right. I thought for sure the vinyl was going to have that,
right?
And it didn't.
And Dan, you ordered early enough that you were able to get a poster, and the poster was autographed by Nick Mason.
Well, kind of, sort of. So
you did get a poster, correct?
I did. Yeah. So I want to talk about that a little bit. I ordered from the Pink Floyd's official website, and originally I ordered the CD, DVD, record, and it comes with a signed poster and a magnet. Okay. So then a couple days later, I said, you know what? I'm going to order a second signed poster. Hey. So I said, I'm going to order a second signed poster. And I did. And that came. That arrived. I ordered it 5 days later. That arrived. Got it. Thank goodness. Because when the Pink Floyd official store sent me the stuff, which was supposed to arrive last Friday, it didn't arrive till Monday. And just on the packing list, it said, it listed each thing. It said signed poster canceled. And I'm like, what? So I emailed them. I said, what? I was supposed to get a signed poster. Where is it? And they said, oh, we ran out. And I said,
yeah.
So you just tell me by putting it on the packing list? And they're like, yep.
At least they didn't charge you for it until you.
Well, they charged me 3 months ago.
Oh, they didn't take the charge off?
They refunded it.
Oh, they did? Okay, good.
At least, it's you refunded it. But man, if I hadn't ordered that second one, which honestly I'd ordered a second one because I was going to give a friend one of them, but Sorry, friend. I'm not going to name who it is, so they won't know that I was ever going to give them one. But I was planning on
Hello, Adventures.
getting them both nicely framed and then giving one to a friend that's a big Pink Floyd
Friend,
fan.
you'll be getting a special different gift.
Yeah, you're going to get a different poster. I'm going to sign.
So I was explaining to Dan exactly what happened is that every morning David Gilmour gets up and he has coffee. He turns into Victoria and watches Adventures in Reselling. Then he goes down and he starts packaging things for shipping. Sometimes Roger comes over and sometimes Nick comes over. But, it's just like, Richard will bring the chicken over and he'll bring his little grandchildren. And it was just a busy day. The grandchildren were just wild that day. The chicken laid an egg. And so...
Well, typically I order all my stuff through Kurt, but in this case, I was trying to get the extras that were exclusives to the website, and it sort of backfired. So,
and that's great. I always encourage people, if you can order something from the band's website, they might get an extra $1 or $2 that a distributor wouldn't get.
And they're all hurting for money. I mean, they
absolutely. Especially Roger Waters, Bless his heart, those royalty checks are just slowing down a little bit.
I did hear David Gilmour
coming out next month.
David Gilmour had to sell a bunch of his guitars a couple of years ago, so help those guys out.
I think it's time to clean the garage out, get rid of that junk.
But he donated all the money from the guitars, Russell, to I forget which charity, but that was very honorable.
A lot of those guitars were ones he used and everything. They weren't just extras that he'd had lying around. It was very nice of him to do that.
Yeah. Hey, let's say hello to Katie. Hello, Katie.
Katie.
All right, Katie, on your thing there. I can't read the title of it.
I'm sorry?
I'm wondering what record she has on her picture.
We will never know. Oh, it's just an early Pink Floyd 7-inch. That's what it is.
So I'm a King B / Lucy Lee 45.
There you go. We're talking about Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secret, the 2 LP live record that was released last Friday. It was recorded live at the Roundhouse. And that's what we're talking about. So, yeah. So, Dan, did I miss anything? Is there any other package that you got? Any other goodie that you got? So,
the only big news is I now have completed. I have every Pink Floyd and related Record Store Day release that I know of. I've now got all that stuff. So that's good, cool. But we'll do that. We'll explore all that again. Maybe next
after. Yeah, after something. Yeah, absolutely. Plus, we have a release that's coming out Saturday. It's an Atlantic record from the 1950s. Very cool. Yeah.
My grandparents had a lot of those old coasters and stuff like that from the 50s. I think Ray Charles was Atlantic in the 50s.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And before we get into talking about the songs themselves on there, I did want to point out that the vinyl does come with a download code.
All right, hold on, everybody. I enlarge it so you can. First person that gets it.
Read that code under there.
All right.
This code right here.
116.
Yeah. Let's see. No, that's my PIN number. Oh, darn it.
Just put in your social security number and it'll let you download it.
Yeah.
I was surprised when I was cracking mine open and the download code popped out.
Yeah, and we were both surprised because nothing said it was going to come with a download code. And honestly, had I known the record was going to come with the vinyl was coming with a download code, I probably wouldn't have ordered the CD. I just done the Blu-ray, and the vinyl.
Did you download the download code? That doesn't sound right.
Download code.
Did you download?
I haven't downloaded the stuff yet. That's why I've got the
you downloaded a little. Remember? I wonder what format it's available in as a download.
It just says MP3 on here, but I have seen sometimes with We Are Vinyl that they have Wave or FLAC as well available.
Okay, cool.
I'm dropping everything tonight. Holy cow!
Oh, yeah, it must be gravity over there.
I know it's just a little extra gravity.
There we go. Yeah, yeah. And Russell, you haven't picked up a copy yet. Russell doesn't live where Russell lives. He doesn't have an independent record store, so
I use good old fashioned iTunes like
So
our
you-
grandparents did. But no, it was cool. I was able to Adam actually reminded me it was coming out. I just clicked on it. It said it was pre-release, not and couldn't listen to it yet, but it reminded me the Friday that it was out, and
Mhm.
I just was able to listen to it. I didn't get anything. I got a little tiny, like that big of a picture of the cover, but I put it on, and I was really pleased with the whole thing.
Very cool. Yeah.
I thought it would be something I'd listen to once and be like, yeah, that was pretty cool, but it's been fun listening to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Russell's been streaming, and I wish I had gotten the DVD. So it's the same music, essentially, and I think I rather have heard it and watched it at the same time. Dan, you played the DVD, you played the CD, you played the vinyl.
Yeah. No, I haven't actually yet played the vinyl. It's been a busy week at work, so I've been able to have the Blu-ray in and hit pause and play a bunch. But we sat down last night, my wife and I, in the living room where we have the 7.1 surround sound Dolby Atmos and system, and watched it on the big TV, and we just loved it. There's on the Blu-ray there's an extra you get the Dolby Digital 5.1 surround as well as the 5.1 uncompressed. We listened to the Dolby Digital 5.1. I'll do uncompressed probably this weekend, and then there's also the 2-channel stereo version on there as well on the Blu-ray. It was just really good. They did a really strong use of the full surround sound, the 5.1, without it getting silly. There are definitely times in the songs themselves where it really makes sense, like Strame Domine and stuff, just having it whirl around you. And they did that, but they also didn't just go overboard, and they didn't just use it as a one-trick pony one time that you sometimes hear. It became part of it. And a lot of 5.1 stuff just is kind of mixed, kind of like an afterthought type of thing. This definitely had a lot of thought put into it. And of course, they're playing it in the theater and in surround sound as well. So it really immersed you into it. It was really great hearing the sound just all around us. A lot of fun. But of course, I've been playing it in here on these speakers. These things are amazing. The clarity on them is just, the depth of them is just amazing. They're just really resolving.
Well, very cool. Well, let's talk about the songs a little bit. So we had an opportunity to hear it. I've been listening to Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets on YouTube for probably over a year.
Yeah.
As soon as things started popping up there, I was listening to it and watching it, which has been great. But yeah, so favorite songs? Anybody?
So for me, I've got kind of 3. And the number one, well, I'll start with number 2, 3. I can't distinguish between them. I really like the version of Fearless that is on here. The piano going throughout Fearless, which is from 1971 metal album. The piano is just amazing, and then they really match the guitar with the original, but then the rest of the song is kind of different. So it was really beautiful. I love, and this is why I can't. They're both number 2, although they're very close to number 1. They do a version of If that rolls into Atom Heart Mother and then back to If, going from that Atom Heart Mother 1970 Atom Heart Mother, and it's wonderful, by the way. And Atom Heart Mother is that, I think it's like 15-16 minute song. But in this, they condense it down. It's about 5 or 6 minutes long. But and probably Nick Mason's like, for most of that song, I gotta sit there, or I might just go ding, 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 ding. But then there are parts of that song where he's just going to town on the drums. Well, those are the parts that are in this. So I think he said, if we're gonna play that song, which I think we should, let's just do the parts I really enjoy and get to do some stuff in.
There you go. Yeah,
that was really good. And then my absolute favorite was "Green Is the Color." The guitar work is just amazing. It's different, but it's just wonderful. The drums in it, I really, really good. I wish they brought the drums up a little bit more in it. It seems like, it was a little subdued, right? And then the piano in it is so melodic, and then Guy Pratt playing that bass line through it was just, they nailed it. Just absolutely nailed it. And I could listen to that over and over, but I can listen to everything on here. Save one track. There's one track where
so for me, my favorite song on there is "Saucerful of Secrets."
Yeah,
that is it. It's just as psychedelic as it can be. How about you, Russell?
Yeah, everything you guys mentioned has been great, but I just personally, from being a fan of all for years and years, Remember a Day was great to hear live. And same with the Nile song. But everything you guys mentioned, I thought was really good, too. I was really surprised to hear Saucerful of Secrets come on towards the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that Saucerful is really good.
It is.
Nile song, there's so much life to it. And that's a song that needs a lot of life. In the album, there's a lot of life. But, man, it comes to life. And it just jumps in. And that comes in after that Adam Hart Mother If Adam Hart Mother If. And which ends very subtly, and then it just bam hits you with that Nile song. It was really great.
We really could stop right here, folks. We could say the whole album is good. Go buy it.
Yeah.
And we could say good night, but yikes, there's
just any format that's convenient for you.
Absolutely.
I highly recommend it. Just absolute gold star.
You can find it on YouTube, but it's not in order. But if you go to Wikipedia, you can find the order and play it in the order. But and so one day someone's going to pop it up there, and it'll be there for a little while. But it's interesting. These are songs that I've heard for years and years and years, and then to hear other people play it. Of course, Nick's there, but to hear other people play it, I found myself being a little critical.
Oh.
I found myself saying, that's not right. And so I found myself saying, these samples aren't properly lined up. Where's the whistle? I want to hear the whistle. And things
You're talking about Fearless and Bike, aren't you?
I am. I am. I'm the kind of girl that,
Nick Mason's wife wasn't there to play the whistle.
Who?
Wasn't it Nick Mason's wife that played the whistle, or was it?
I think so.
Yeah, Julie.
Lindy Mason on flute or penny whistle or whatever it was. Yeah, that's another great. I think the whole album is good.
Yeah, it was good to hear.
And I can be like a real old fart about old bands doing stuff. They're like making new live albums, or like a band that's like built around one member and a whole new group of people with them and stuff. I can be like the kind of person who just never checks that stuff out. But with this one, I'm glad I did, because it is a lot of fun to listen to. And I didn't notice the wind not being in the same spots, or the crowd and Fearless not being exactly right. But now that you mention it, I'm going to have to try to check that out to see if I can notice it next time I listen.
I ruined it for you, Russell. I'm sorry.
I noticed it. Yeah. I thought they were just doing it a different way. They were kind of changing things up. And because what they didn't do, what they weren't, was a Pink Floyd cover band. And that's what this could have easily become, was a Pink Floyd cover band. They didn't do that. They did Pink Floyd songs in the Pink Floyd style, but their own way. And changing those samples up wasn't that big a deal to me. Yeah, the penny whistle not being a bike was kind of, sad. Yeah, I wish that had been in there, but anyway,
Yeah.
I other than Vegetable Man, I absolutely love this album.
Dan, you were saying that Nick, that Guy Pratt has how many guitars? How many bass
Oh
guitars?
my god, I felt like he had 5 guitars per song, but I think he only really had like 3 or 4 guitars throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
He was change it, and then there was one song, and I forget which one I should have written down, and I think it was like something like "Let There Be More Light" or "Set the Controls" or something like that. It might have been one of these days. Which, by the way, watch the video. Look at Guy Pratt while he's playing One of These Days. He looks like the happiest person in the world. It is clear he loves that song, or loves playing it. But there's one point where it has like this, 80s, one of those black 80s axes that like Guns N' Roses or something might have, with all the curves coming up everywhere. And then he's got several other ones he brings up. But there was one song where he just has this. It just looks so out of place.
Yeah,
but sounds great.
Absolutely. Hey, Victoria was saying that I really need to get a record player. I think that's what I asked my hubby for Christmas, and that's awesome. And Katie shared with Victoria that she has a Fluence, and so that's a good table. Yeah. Victoria, reach out. We'll be glad to help you in any way we can. Katie, myself.
Yeah, because the important thing is, you can get a record player at Walmart or Target right now, but it's not going to bring out the life of the vinyl. So paying a little bit more, because there's really good entry level turntables in the just over $100 range that will really do a lot more to bring out the life of your vinyl outside of those. Not going to say words like Crosley, but no, but there are good Crosleys, but not at Walmart.
You got to get the good ones at Record Crate.
Yeah. Well, Kirk has a great Crosley, really nice.
I do, yeah.
And it would still be considered like sort of entry level for the audiophile world, and I don't. That's also a bad word, audiophile, but but you want to get something just a little bit nicer than or way nicer. Go as high as you want, but don't get one of those just El Cheapos at Walmart, Target type of thing. They're just really not going to play your vinyl well.
I don't know about you guys, but I find myself, whenever I listen to a LP, a vinyl, I listen to it way louder than I do like a CD or anything else. Just something about a vinyl LP where I like to crank it.
Yeah. Well, they typically play about 20% lower volume, so you do have to actually crank your knob up a little bit. But yeah, I typically really want something to drive and really get that
done. Yeah, just fill the room up with it.
Yeah.
I'd be glad to, Victoria. Yeah,
Kirk could definitely help you out a lot with that.
Yeah. We'll talk about turntables on another show, but
yeah.
The cool thing is that you're engaged in music.
Yep.
With vinyl, and it's awesome. And I like to encourage people to get something that's going to sound as best as they can with their budget. And so, so there you go. Yes. So, guy playing 14 bass guitars. That's crazy. Wow.
It was probably only 3 or 4, but it sure seemed like he was changing them constantly.
Well, I see in the photographs that he has a Rickenbacker, and Roger had a Rickenbacker. And I can't remember the story, but there was a crazy story that Roger said it just kind of looked cool or something, so he bought it. And then also right here in the photograph, I see a precision bass right here that he has. Which is right here. And he's holding the Rickenbacker there.
I'll jump through the.
Yeah, and during his quarantine videos, he shows all of his guitars, including, his 6-string electric guitars. And Russell, we mentioned this before, but I think it's really neat to hear the wonderful sound of the Telecaster. It's a little brighter than a Strat, and
Yeah, it's perfect for the Sid and early Gilmore stuff. It just seems like you have to have that Tele bridge pickup and lots of treble on your amp and all that stuff, and
absolutely. And
crank it.
They didn't have the sound systems that we have now, the sound reinforcement, where they actually had a little more options with the EQ, so they were getting the highs and the lows and stuff like that, and it worked out really well. So yeah, but when David was playing on this particular recording, he was playing a Telecaster also, which was beautiful, and so yay for David whipping out a Telecaster for that, and I thought it was really neat. So yeah.
Well, I like in one of these days where Lee Harris is there and he's got the butter knife and he's going back and forth with the butter knife. I told my wife, I said, just not even thinking about it, I said, at one point he plays the guitar with a knife, and my wife's thinking like this big Bowie knife or something. I'm like, no, like a kitchen butter knife, the backside of it.
And when we watched
sounds like a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. When we watched live in Pompeii, David is actually sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
And on top of those volcanic ashes. And he's got that guitar just going here and there. And then, I don't know what he was using to slide. He probably had a slide or a glass bottle. But
it looked like he had like a piece of a ratchet set, that he just crammed his hand in and was just going back and forth. I mean, and now he cost $200.
Yeah, he actually used one of those big, thick bullet slides that like lap steel and pedal steel players use.
Yeah, I think that's what he used. Yeah, if I remember, but it's been a while since I watched Pompeii.
That the last time we watched it was when you came over and we watched it, and that was before COVID-19, and we haven't been able to do the come over and watch videos.
And I wish we had that drop down menu so we wouldn't see all the interviews broken up over Abbey Road and part of the recording of The Dark Side of the Moon. Yeah. One thing about Guy Pratt, I like his singing a little better than the other cat. Interesting story when Guy Pratt went over to interview and to audition for the Pink Floyd, and David Gilmour says, sing. And Guy says, okay, you want me to play? No, don't play your bass guitar. I know you can play your guitar because I've heard records you've been on. I want you to sing. And his audition was based upon how he could sing Run Like Hell. And that was just so interesting that David knew that he was a good bass player, but he wanted to see how he would sound and how him and his voice would work together for that song, since it's a split vocal. So that was really neat. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I better go to bed, you guys. Morning will come early. Okay, great. Sounds great, Victoria. Thanks for hanging out. You can come back and watch the last 15 minutes later on another day.
Have a good night.
Yeah, good night.
Absolutely. And so I thought Russell and I were talking about this in the green room, that so Dom play keyboards, did a wonderful job. Was able to get the piano parts in there and they sounded wonderful. Did the organ, did the farfisa, did all the delays. He has a digital echo rack, and it just sounded really well. But Russell and I were talking about how Richard Wright did it essentially with 3 keyboards, and it was a farfisa, a Hammond. He had a B3 and he had an A100 and some other Hammonds that he had from time to time, and then a piano. But when you look at Dom's setup, he's probably has 3 or 4 keyboards, some MIDI controllers. He has a MacBook and he has a whole bunch of outboard stuff. And so it was really interesting. I would love to have seen him with just the bare bones.
Well, and I was talking to my wife Elizabeth about that last night. I was saying, when this was done in the 60s originally, they were inventing these sounds. This was nobody had done those sounds, or very few people, and they had to actually create that with the instruments. Where now you just download it and hit a button.
Right. Yeah. They probably were limited to hand-me-downs or charity shop purchases, and they went to a venue, and the venue had an organ there, the venue had a piano there, and things like that. I'm sure we've all seen that video of I think it was around 72 when they were in this big cathedral, and Rich was over there playing a pipe organ.
Yeah.
With the pipes that look as big as a 3-story building. And it's just amazing the sounds that he was getting from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was really neat. I thought the bass amplification, I thought it was really good, but it was way, way, way different than what Roger had. It was very bright, very strong, at times very overdriven. And it wasn't as warm as what Roger was playing at the time. And so that was interesting.
Yeah. It was more clean, I think. A good way to go on that.
Yeah. And of course, Guy plays a lot different than Roger. Guy is truly a bass player. I'm not saying Roger isn't, but we know that more than half of the stuff we listen to when we listen to Pink Floyd records is David Gilmour playing bass. And we know that Roger Waters would get Richard Wright to tune his bass guitar before they would play live. And so Guy Pratt, he is an animated, gifted, good fit for the Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
As well as all those other bands he played with, Icehouse, Madonna, Michael Jackson, blah, blah, the list goes on and on and on. So,
and he was definitely given carte blanche to just go at it during this concert because he's dancing all over the stage. He's just having fun with it. He's jumping all around.
Yeah.
Gary Kemp, for the most part, just stands by his microphone and does an amazing job. But you could tell he wasn't. Guy's been playing with. This wasn't his first Pink Floyd concert, right? So he probably just wasn't nervous at all. He's like, "Yeah, I've been there, done that."
The other guitarist, what's his name?
You got Gary Kemp and Lee Harris.
Lee Harris. I think Lee is incredibly talented.
Mm-hmm.
I love Lee's style of playing. Yeah. I love the sounds he has. He is the one that brings us even more psychedelic than probably what Sid offered at the time. I think Sid was just, this is just what I do. I walk this way. This is just what I do.
Yeah.
And I think he brings it on.
Was he the one that was singing Lucifer Slam where he's going, here, kitty, kitty?
Well, that's another reason I wanted to watch it as I listened to it so I could see who's doing what, because I was always a person that if I could, I would get to the venue early and I would get up as close to the stage as I could see because I want to see what everybody's doing. And of course, you go, this was like when I was going to the brewery and the small clubs around town. And but when you went to a ticketed event, sometimes nobody has that luxury unless you just happen to get the front row seats. Did anybody notice excuse me, Russell, Dan, did you happen to notice the cameraman in this shot here?
No.
So take a look over here, folks. I'm going to see if I can share it with you. So over here is the keyboard.
Uh-huh.
Look at that cameraman.
Oh, there he is right there.
Yeah.
Day.
So it's between the two guys and up above the keyboard player. Might be hard to see on, especially if you know what, Russell, I forget it does stuff like this.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't Photoshop him out,
Yeah.
Why not leave him in there?
Yeah, I thought that was really neat. I was like, oh, this is cool.
You wouldn't see that in the little booklet from the CD, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I wish they'd put that booklet in a bigger format in with the vinyl.
Yeah.
They probably just said, hey, we got to hit this price point. Don't want to go over.
Right.
Maybe Record Store Day drops 2021. We'll have a version that'll have it's the same, but on colored vinyl and with the booklet.
Yeah.
No, remastered it from the year before.
From the Square House instead of the Roundhouse.
Dan, was there an option to get the? So you looked at the stuff online long before a lot of us did. Was there an option to get a package that include the vinyl, the disc, and everything?
Yeah, so kind of. There were packages where you could get any one of the pieces plus other stuff, and then there was a package where you could get two of the things. And I think it was the Blu-ray and the vinyl, and so I ordered that. Yeah. And then there was a package where you could get this this magnet, refrigerator magnet. It was like this is $5 if you just want to buy it, but in the package it was no extra charge. So all right, fine.
Wasn't there a package called the press package where it included everything?
I don't remember seeing that, but maybe it was sold out. There was also a test pressing package, but that sold out before I could get it.
Right.
And apparently there are only like 25 or 50 of those. And I saw one come up for sale for a couple $100, and I just look like, I mean, I've got an 8-year-old. I can't be spending that on test pressing.
I get so many emails every week about all this stuff and all these packages and stuff like that. It's just hard to keep up with everything.
And they may have put that package out after I ordered mine.
Yeah. And then Nick Mason. So I would think Nick Mason can pretty much afford to buy any drum set he wants. But you see that it has DW right there on both heads. And it's Drum Workshop.
Empty upside down.
Huh?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I didn't hear what you said.
So years ago when I first saw the DW, it looked like it was MP because of the font. It looked like the person. I was like, the person put their drum kit upside down.
Yeah. And so it's pretty obvious that he has some type of endorsement. He puts out some type of money for this, but I would love to have seen him. What was his old drum kit? Russell?
I think he used Premier and then Ludwig.
Even if
Premier was probably the Sid days was probably the Premier kit.
So even if he didn't have Premier drums, if he had had that headstock that said Premier, I thought that would have been a nice look for this project, especially when we're thinking about things that were definitely Sid Barrett era. Yeah.
One thing I want you to do is when you do get to watch the video, when they show the overheads of Nick, he's got I don't know drum kits that well, but there's kind of a big, not one of the big bass drums, but one of the drums that's flat in front of him, and on it it's got this like someone took a Sharpie and wrote this big swirl, and then it comes around and points to something that says something. And I because we were watching, I didn't want to pause. I might go back and pause and try and figure out what that big it seems to be like swirl out and points to something, and then someone wrote something. Looks like they did a Sharpie. It might be printed on there, but
it could be notes for the drum tech. It could be something to remind Nick to do something. It could be triggers that were placed at a certain part of the head. I mean,
it could be saying during the song, drum around this way and then up to here.
Yeah. When you get to the bottom, you get back to the top. Something like that.
Yeah.
Remember to press the voice thing for one of these days. The button is right here.
There you go. Do you think there's any songs that should have been left off this record?
I do.
No. Oh yeah, he does. He's got a real vegetable to pick with a certain song.
I'm just not a fan of that Vegetable Man song.
Not at all.
I do like that they put it on here because it was not a release track for so many years.
Yeah,
the early years box set, and but it's not a good song.
So if you're just joining us, folks, we're talking about Saucerful Secret live at the Roundhouse. This is a 2-disc vinyl set, and it's a concert, and so we're talking about that. So Dan, if they had taken off Vegetable Man,
I do have a list.
Song, what do you think they should have put it in this replacement?
I have a whole list of what I would have preferred in there. From Ummagumma, I would have loved the concert version of The Narrow Way. I know it's the studio version on Ummagumma, but I would have loved the concert version of The Narrow Way. They did it several different ways, but this Amsterdam '69 concert, man, the version of The Narrow Way on this was just amazing. Absolutely amazing. The whole concert's great. If you can get a bootleg of it, get it. But I would have liked more from Adam Hart Mother. Like That Old Sun would have been good.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
I'm gonna say this, and Kirk's gonna be like, no. But Biding My Time from Relics. I think
I
this
like that song.
would have had a lot of fun with that. Obscure by Clouds. I mean, you got The Gold is in you got What's the Deal and Free For. Those would have all been fun to have on there. And then from more, Cymbeline. I think Cymbeline would have been really nice on there. So,
Good.
All good. Maybe they'll do. Hopefully, Nick does another tour.
yeah, that would be nice.
He had to cancel some dates, Russell.
Well, but I think that was because of COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But there's
hopefully,
probably just as many songs they could do from the same era. Because I don't know, maybe I'm kind of crazy. No one has to answer that. But for some reason, I was thinking this band would have sounded great doing one of their really weird ones, like Take Thy Stethoscope Up and Walk, or Power Talk H, or one of those kind of songs. Just seems like they would have had fun doing that. Especially Guy Pratt doing all the noises and stuff.
Or something like It Would Be So Nice, or Apples and Oranges, or Careful with That Axe, Eugene. Stuff like that, kind of missing off of there. That would have been fun. I think one doesn't like apples and oranges, but that's
So I think this is one of those things, and there's interviews to be heard. I try to listen to the music before I read about things, so I can have my own idea of what I like and what I don't like. Do you think Nick says, "Hey Dave, I have this wonderful idea"? Do you think Nick asked Dave to be part of it?
So they don't address that in the interviews, but they do talk about forming it and the idea behind it. And so I'm not going to spoiler it for you here, but it's worth listening to. Them talk about how it was formed. And they make a little joke about we formed Nick Mason Saucerful of Secrets, and now we had to find a drummer named Nick Mason.
I mean, Roger's doing his thing solo, Dave's doing his thing solo, and Nick is like, "What am I going to do?" And so, of course, Dave would ask him, I'm sure in a heartbeat, to come play with him, and so that's really interesting.
Now Roger showed up to one of the concerts and played the song, right?
Yeah, the one and I think he made some noises.
Yeah, and that was in New York, was it?
Yeah. Roger lives on Long Island in the Hamptons, and beautiful place to be. But why in the world do you want to live so far down this island, way down there? And of course, Hamptons it's better than going to any beach we will ever go to. People like Paul McCartney and Howard Stern and a lot of known people that are very wealthy live on the Hamptons.
Yeah.
But it gets cold there, folks. I don't want to live there. And so when Nick played New York, Roger came out and did it. I haven't read or heard of David joining any of those times, but yeah, that would have been a wonderful opportunity for Roger and David and Nick. And
that would have been something
to get together and do some shows, some one-offs. I think that would have been great to have done that, even though Richard's gone. And so, yeah. But overall, I had looked forward for months to hear this record, and It was really good to hear it, and and also to think of, would this be the closest thing I could to seeing Pink Floyd, Sid Barrett era, of someone doing something that still has some directions from a member who was there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was overexcited about this album. I was hoping it would be amazing, which typically when that happens, then I'm disappointed. I was not disappointed. This is definitely one of those live albums. There aren't a lot of live albums that I listen to over and over, and this is one of them. That it's definitely going to be played a lot. You wrecking the joint?
I'm sorry, I thought I hit mute, but I hit the wrong button. I was moving a bag.
You did a close up instead.
I have any second now. This avalanche is just going to fall around me. But
are all these your guitars?
I think the music is so psychedelic. We're all kind of in another state of mind, dropping things and making mistakes and stuff. Because especially the guitar players did an excellent job of getting that psychedelic guitar sound.
Yeah.
Of like the weird slides going up, and I guess a butter knife and stuff, and all the echoes and stuff. Great job on everything. I really enjoyed this album. Like I said, I can be a real stodgy old fart about new recordings of old music and stuff like that. So I highly recommend it to any Pink Floyd fan is going to love it. And if you're new to them and don't know a lot of the deeper tracks, this is a great way to get into that stuff. Because it's you can watch the DVD. You know, that sounds really cool. I hope to be able to see that, because I did hear what the first show they ever did, a really sort of like way back in the audience recording of it on a cell phone or whatever. And I thought that was cool, but just to be able to hear it in like nice sound quality and stuff, it's a great live album.
I think one of the reasons, Dan, for myself and Russell, that I was looking forward to this is because I've seen so much on YouTube and I've heard so much, and it's like, hey, finally get to get me my own little copy to play. I got my own little book to write my poems in. So yeah, that was it. But
well, and that shows that, like, the fact that a lot of this was out there free on YouTube where you could just watch it all you want. For me, it helped the sales of this. That and the Record Store Day release, they showed me this is something I need to pay attention to and get.
Yeah, so I ordered 20 of these. This is for Record Store Day, drops 2020 August. I ordered 20 of them, and I think I have 2 left.
Ooh.
I got a feeling that on Saturday they may sell. And so,
pick them up while you can. I got.
We did a great infomercial for it. Hopefully, people will come to the store and get them.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It really is. It really is good, and no one paid me in advance to say that. It really is just a fun, lot of fun. It kind of like heartwarming or whatever you call it. Just emotional to hear them doing Rick songs and Sid songs, and it's just really nice. It is a really good idea. And Guy Pratt rules, by the way. That dude's awesome.
Yeah, he definitely was just having a blast up there. And by the way, Nick Mason is pretty much frowning the whole time, but thoroughly enjoying it. But there's one song where he looks so happy, and I'm trying to find in my notes where that was.
Well, you know, it's what is it, like 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. It's like 4:30 where Guy lives, and he'll watch the playback, in a few hours after he gets up and does his coffee. He'll watch this playback, and he'll be really happy.
We should tag him in the title. # Guy Pratt.
Absolutely, yeah. all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think it was one of these days, Dan, that guy was so happy.
Oh yeah. Well, for Guy, yeah, there was one where Nick Mason was.
Or Nick, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Nick. There was a. Yeah, in one of these days, Guy Pratt is just like he's grinning ear to ear the entire time. It's really awesome.
And Nick is probably thinking, "Man, I've never played this good. I'm so much better now than I was in 1960s." And yeah.
Well, in one of the interviews, Nick talks about how, and he, Nick's so humble throughout all this, which is really nice as well. But he talks about how there's these songs that he's played a billion times in concert, and every time he says every time I play it differently. Like I can't remember how this song goes. I'm gonna hit this at the wrong time or that or whatever. And he's like, but it's such these early songs, it kind of doesn't matter. It's so it's just you're just there having fun.
Yeah, he said as soon as I finish playing this song, I'm going to drive my car. And, I'd like to hear your comments. So leave comments below of what you think of this record, what your favorite song is, and share with us what you think about the record, and if you have the CD or the DVD or the Blu-ray, and and just keep the conversation going. Any final words, Russell?
Even if it's just YouTube and check it out. It's really good.
Yeah.
But buy it on vinyl at Record Crate, and hopefully you'll be able to get a copy by Saturday.
Drive all the way over. Absolutely.
North Carolina is just a few miles from everywhere, people.
That's right.
Just north, south, east, west. You can get there.
Just make your point. Make it happen.
Chip.
There you go. Any final words, Dan?
So I just want to say this is one of those rare times where that live album is just magical and very well worth getting. Glad it wasn't a Pink Floyd cover band. It really was new and fresh versions of these songs we already love. So, excellent job. Thoroughly happy with it.
Awesome. Well, that's great. Yeah. So there you go. Well, folks, thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back another Thursday. Don't know if it's next week or the following, but we're going to make it happen. And in the meantime, thank you for joining us. All right. Thanks, Katie, for hanging out with us. I appreciate it.
Flower power, everyone. Peace and love.
If you have ideas of shows you'd like to see us do, Floyd albums you'd like us to talk about related, put it in the comments. Let us know, because we can. We're always looking for ideas and
Floyd album, Floyd subjects.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be fun. Yeah, good idea. Well, great. Thanks. Everybody have a wonderful night, and we will see you next time. And in the meantime, just get out there and have a blast and rock and roll.